Very good morning, dear Vivites. This is Prem Kumar, Royal Black Diamond Ambassador, your friend and partner in success. Wishing you all a good morning and a warm welcome. So today in Vibrant Viva's Project 1K Morning Club Meet, I have some lovely people here, about 331, and the numbers are gradually growing. And I know that some people are on the way to join, and I really appreciate all those who joined the meeting sharp before time. And that's what a champion is all about. A champion is ever ready. And this is February 2023. And we just wished a happy new year to most of our friends and relatives and our families and our beloved ones in our life. And we just thought, yes, 2023 is just started. But then let me tell you, it's not just started. 1 month of 2023 is over. We are already in the second month of 2023, that is February, and a brand new month is here in front of you. And wishing you a great month and a great year ahead. And this is the season and a strong reason in IndusViva. Yesterday, we had our respected CEO share the vision and the plan for the next 90 days, what exactly we would love to accomplish. We want each and every one of you to take advantage of this non-stop, the 90 days game plan, what is going to be a life-changing experience for most of us. All right. So with regard to Morning Club Meet, last week, I remember we had opened one topic which is very interesting, which was very interesting, I feel, because I got a lot of positive feedback from the participants during the session, and even after the session. Many of you texted me telling this was an amazing session for each one of you to learn something about your business. Okay, the topic here we are going through, my dear friends, is the top mistakes direct sellers do in their journey. The top mistakes direct sellers do in their journey. And to remind all of you, I know the first mistake, what we were talking about, or the first error, or the mistakes, what people do in our business in direct selling arena is with regard to the communication. And the first one was one of the all-time favorite, and I would say the one which we all need to look forward to, that is cross-line communication, wherein we start communicating with someone who is neither in our LOS and who is not in our genealogy. So neither they are in your appliance, nor they are among your associates. So that was the first one. And I believe most of you have realized that that is a very vital piece of advice anybody would love to give to their budding entrepreneurs in their organization. And now today, taking you all forward, we have 400 people already in. And if you are associates who are star 500 and above and are not yet in this meeting, kindly text them or remind them by posting you being in this meeting in your group or wherever you communicate in your broadcast or whatever, and remind them to hop on to the Morning Club Meet. The time is already 6:05, and yes, I would love to listen your voice before I proceed. So when I say 3 to 1, our respected admin will unmute you. Not now, when I say 3 to 1, and at that time you all can start the day with the slogan, "Good morning, IndusViva." So if you're all ready, get ready. If you have some noise in the background, then no problem. You can avoid unmuting yourselves. So dear friends, want to listen to your energy. With that high energy, with a high vibration, we begin this day. So 3, 2, 1, good morning, IndusViva.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
IndusViva.
Indus
Good
Viva.
morning, IndusViva.
IndusViva. Good morning,
Indus
friends.
Viva.
Shubhodaya.
Indus
IndusViva.
Viva.
Morning, IndusViva.
IndusViva, sir.
IndusViva.
Good morning,
IndusViva.
Morning, Indus
Morning,
Morning,
IndusViva.
Indus Viva.
Morning, IndusViva.
Morning, IndusViva.
Good morning.
Morning, Indus Viva.
Good morning, IndusViva.
Good morning,
Morning,
IndusViva.
sir.
Morning, Indus Viva. Morning, Indus Viva.
IndusViva. Morning.
Good morning, Indus Viva. Morning, Indus Viva.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Indus Viva.
Yes, that was a fantastic wish from each one of you. Thank you so much, dear Morning Club members, Morning Club Meet members, our lovely Viva business owners, for starting the day with a very high energy. Okay, yes, our host for the day, she already set the standard, and then we have elevated it, and now we are maintaining the same standard. Yes, when I hand over the session back to our host, I am sure that all of you will be maintaining the same energy. Now let's get into our topic. The top mistakes what direct sellers do in that series. The first one was very much, as I told you, just reminded you, the cross communication. That's the first one which I have, and I have many among those top mistakes of direct sellers. I'm wondering what I can share it with you. Okay, let me go ahead with this. Yes, the financial transactions is the second one among the top mistakes of direct sellers. So when I say financial transactions, which is again related to our cardinal rules. One of the cardinal rules says, don't mess up with someone else's money. So with regard to the financial transactional errors, what we could possibly commit in our direct selling business, in our IndusViva journey as entrepreneurs, is that we start having non-business financial transactions with our team members or with our appliance. So when you apply any strategy, any principle, any learn in your direct selling business, you must always remember you have a dual role in your journey. You have two roles to play, two parts to every responsibility. Your responsibility to your team or your associates as an upline, because you are also a leader, you also have your organization. So your responsibility with regard to the dealings with your team members is one, and the first one with regard to the responsibilities. And the second one is your response and responsiveness to your LOS, to your upline. So whenever you are in a situation where you are forced to deal with your team members with regard to non-business financial transactions, be very clear about what exactly you do in that particular dealing. Let's say you are going to attend a program. A simple example, which happens most of the time. You are traveling with your team from, let's say, Dimapur to Guwahati, from Gangtok to Guwahati, from Upper Assam to Guwahati. There is an event in Guwahati, and the entry pass or the ticket is 1,000 rupees. So When you go to that event with your upline and with your team members, most of the time, the direct sellers fall in the pit because most people, they are expecting the upline to make the payment for the event. Now, town hall is coming up. Many people are going to mess up a lot of money. Dear honey, you're going to mess up a lot of money. This is a warning signal from your friend. So when you go to the event, some people want the upline to pay for them. Okay. And some people pay for their team members. Okay. Is it right to pay for my team member? The answer is, it is not. Why should you pay for your team members? And some of the uplines are called Deen Dayal Dinanath. You know what is Deen Dayal Dinanath? They want to take care of their team members fully. And I asked once one of the team leaders, sir, you are spending so much money for your team by paying their travel expenses, by paying their stay, by paying their event entry ticket, everything. Why are you paying everything by yourself? The answer was, sir, it is my team, and when they are working, I am getting the benefit, so I am investing for my team. And if you ask me, is it correct to invest the money for your team members? Yes, it is good and it is right to invest for your team members if they are not in their business, if they are in your business. Do you understand? If your team members are not in their business and if they are working for you, yes, you can pay. Let's say Teresa Seva is here with us. She's a women entrepreneur, Ruby from Gangtok from Sikkim. And if Teresa is coming with 10 people to Guwahati, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the associates, she's bringing them to Guwahati. Should Teresa Seva pay the money for the team members? The answer is yes, if all the 10 of them are coming for the sake of Teresa Seva. If they are there in Guwahati for the sake of Teresa, Teresa has to pay the money for all 10 of them. It is correct. But in reality, my dear Levites, each one of us, we are not dependent on anybody. We are called IBO, independent business owners. We are all Viva business owners who are independent. Yes, I am from Teresa Seva's team and I have a little bit of financial problem. I can request Teresa, can you please pay my entry ticket this time? And Teresa, remember, I will note down this in my book of accounts. Teresa, when I get my income next week or the coming week, I will return your money. So this is good. This is the right way. Then Teresa is paying the money. The associate has to keep an account of that and return it timely. And after 2 weeks, Teresa can remind her team members, hey, Prem, you have taken the money and you said you're returning on 20th. Tomorrow is 20th. I just wanted to remind you. So when the transactions are clear, my dear friends, remember this, when the transactions are clear, the relationship is also stronger, the bonding is better, and the trust is deeper. When the financial transactions are messed up, which most of us do because we are all people of lot of sympathy. And my dear friends, sympathy simply kills people. Do not show sympathy, but rather show empathy. What is sympathy and empathy? Sympathy is always being too sympathizing. Oh, Mr. Cyril John D'Souza, you are coming from a very difficult situation. I know you have a family. Let me take some money and give to you. Always giving money to associates. You are spoiling your associates. Mr. Prem Kumar, don't you have a heart? How can it be spoiling the associates when I'm giving money to my associates? Yes, even in your associates, there is a diamond hidden. And these challenges, like traveling to town hall, traveling to an event, arranging money, these are the situations and the right path and the right way to dig the diamond out of your associate and bring out the entrepreneurial spirit. If you look at the farmers, when they start farming, they have nothing but hope. They have nothing in their hands, they have hope. The rain is not in their hands. The land, the earth, where the piece of land where they're going to plow the land and do the farming, that is not in their control. Sometimes the land does not belong to them. The rains is not in their hands. The sunlight is not in their hands. Floods is not in their hands. And sometimes they don't even have money. And even if they may have some grains left with them from the last harvest. So when the farmers, the kisan, when they start farming, they bring whatever they have and they sow it. They prepare the land, they water it, they remove the weeds, they clear all the garbage from the land, and they prepare the land and they start sowing the seeds. And this labor, hard work is needed for the farmer to become a farmer. Every entrepreneur is like a farmer. If he is not ready to take the hard labor, how can you make your associates independent? How can you make your associates to become a leader tomorrow? Let me tell you, my dear friends, if the mother, the safest place for the child is mother's womb. Mother's womb, where the child takes, conceived, the child is conceived, is the safest place for the child. But do you think, my dear friends, beyond the 9 months, if the child is not taking birth, is it safe for the child and for the mother? No, it's a danger for both of them. So the child needs to be delivered. It has to take birth. Dr. Chandra Ratish is here with us, who can talk about this subject much better than me. She is a doctor. So the child takes birth. And when the child takes birth, the child is getting separated from the mother's body. It's one body before that. And after that, there is a time when the umbilical cord is disconnected. A new life is born. My dear friends, your team members, maybe you are part of you, but they need to be born as a leader. They need to be independent. They need to learn the ways of being dependent on themselves. So if the mother is not delivering the child, it is a problem. Even after the birth, the mother is keeping the child very close. She is carrying the child most of the time. And there comes a time when the tiny legs, the feet, the fingers of the child, the toes, it starts moving, and the child feels, I want to move out of my mother's lap, my mother's hands. and the child wants to walk. And if the mother continues to hold the child, then the child will never go on the ground and never start toddling, walking. So, my dear friends, we all are human beings designed to be individually capable of being on ourselves, especially when it comes to physical being. We can walk by ourselves. We can take care of ourselves. So, do not show too much sympathy to your team members. Some people are like, sir, if I don't help my team member, how can I bring him to town hall? Yes, you have to help him, but make sure the financial transactions are very clear. Because some uplines have this guilt. Some uplines have this feeling, my team member, he's working hard, not for his income, he's working hard for my income, which is totally wrong, which is not right at all. You are working for your income, your team member works for his income. So that is the reason the top mistake what direct sellers do in that series, the second one and a very prominent one is not being clear about the financial transactions with our associates. And you know what? When uplines are behaving like this and ready to spend the money to the team members and not keeping an account and not clear about the transaction, some of our associates, they become, the word cheap. You know what's the meaning of cheap? Cheap means expecting upline to pay money for you every time. Because the upline has shown sympathy, the associate becomes cheap. The associate becomes cheap. My son, who is 5 year old, 5 year young, he was telling me, Daddy, get me a glass of water. Get me a glass of water. Okay, initially I was getting because the filter where we need to take the water was on a little higher level. So my son could not reach out. So recently, when he asked me, Daddy, get me a glass of water, what I did, I took him to the filter, the kitchen, and I told him, this is a small table, Krish. You need to put it here and climb, and you need to take the water in the glass from the filter by yourself. And from that day onwards, my son stopped asking me, Daddy, get me a glass of water. So, my dear friends, this is all about making your team members independent. So, do not pay money for your associates for using. Do not pay your associates the money and do not allow them to use you, and especially the financial transactions between you and your team members must be very, very, very clear. If you have given any money, you need to take it back. You need to have a clarity. Even if you don't take it back, let there be an account, let there be a record, let there be some notes. Yes, on particular date in this event, I gave you 5 tickets. So you owe me. That clarity should be there for you. That clarity should be there for your upline or your associate. For example, when it comes to Abhilash Thomas Ji, our respected CEO, he also happens to be my upline and sponsor. He and we have a very long relationship. And you know what? We have a lot of transactions sometimes, but we are very clear about our transactions. Me and many of my diamonds, we have lots of transactions with us, but we are very clear about our transactions, because since we are in business, we need to involve money sometimes. Maybe it is for conducting a mega event, it's for booking a resort for a RTP, it may be traveling together to abroad, to a foreign country, whatever it is. There is a lot of financial transactions between us, but we are very clear. If you talk to Mr. Hari Prasad, yes, Mr. Hari Prasad would have taken from me, let's say 2 lakh rupees for some particular reason. And soon after that event, we sit down, we talk, we openly discuss, we clarify, we finish, we close the transactions. So there is no space for misunderstanding. There is no space for misusing, especially entrepreneurs. The number one skill you need to master to be a successful entrepreneur is to handle money wisely. If you do not handle your money wisely, I know many rubies. The rubies earned 2.5 lakh rupees, or some rubies earned 4 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees, some pearls earned 8 lakh rupees or 10 lakh rupees, or even some star 1000s earned 1 lakh rupee. They do not know where the money has gone. They do not have a clear account of where the money has gone. So you need to be very clear about your financial transactions. So the second top mistakes which direct sellers end up doing is not being clear about the financial transactions. So you need to have a separate account for your IndusViva business. Your personal expenses should be a separate account. So whatever you earn from IndusViva comes to X account. You spend from that account is clear. Your income and expense is clear in that account. Do not mix your personal money, your income from business, your money you're taken from your brother. Your father had given you some money, your mother's some income was with you, your grandfather's pension, and everything you put in the same account and make what we call in India. In North India, we call it khichdi. In South India, we call it pongal, or we call it bisi bele bath or sambar rice. You know, it's like mixing up everything. So please don't mix up and mess up your money, because for an entrepreneur, one piece of advice which most of the successful gurus give is to stay disciplined. The discipline is the thumb rule for success, and financial discipline comes on top of everything. Some people are like, so, Prem sir, I just earned 1 lakh rupees. You know, Prem sir, when I earn 10 lakh rupees, I will be disciplined. Let me tell you the answer. If you are poor in handling 1 lakh rupee, if you're not disciplined in handling 1 lakh rupee, when 10 lakh rupees comes to you, you will have more mess up than 1 lakh rupee. Because the way you do small things, note down this if you want, the way you do small things is the way you do big things. That's what Tony Robbins says. And T. Harv Eker, the author of The Millionaire Mind, says the way you do anything is the way you do everything. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. So if you mess up 1 lakh rupee, you don't have proper accounts, you have got, of course, there may be a lot of borrowings, you might have invested a lot of money. My point is not to suppress your risk-taking habit. I'm not here to say don't take risk. I'm not saying not to borrow money. But my dear, you must be clear how much of money you have borrowed, from whom you have borrowed. Let there be borrowings. If it's for business, if it is for your investment into your business, if it's for buying a four-wheeler, for buying a laptop, or buying a mobile phone, it's a good investment. Do it. Loans are good for a businessman. Great industrialists, great entrepreneurs like Infosys Narayan Murthy. One day they wanted to pay the salary to their employees in about 35-40 years ago when Infosys started. At that time, they didn't have the money to pay to the employees because the money which was supposed to come from the customer, the client, the payment did not come on time. The check had come, but they didn't have the possibility of encashing the check because it was Friday or something, and it came after banking time, after bank time, or they were not able to encash it on the same day. So Narayan Murthy spoke to his wife Sudha Murthy, and she had some jewels, and she took the jewels to one of the known banker, and she pledged the jewels about 10,000-12,000 rupees. She gave to Narayan Murthy because it was Friday. Saturday, Sunday was Diwali. So Narayan Murthy and Sudha Murthy wanted their employees to celebrate Diwali. So without salary, how can they celebrate Diwali? So they pledged the jewels, they borrowed the money, they paid the salary to the employees. This was history 40 years ago about. And today they are billionaires. So I'm not saying borrowing should not be there in your journey. You must borrow. If needed, you have to take loans to build your business. I have taken loans to build my businesses in the past. I have always invested in my business. So money should be, very clearly. The transactions must be very clearly noted down, especially the transaction with your associates should be very clear. The transaction with your uplines should be very clear. There should not be space for ambiguity or confusion. Let your journey of an entrepreneur be very, very clear. As an entrepreneur, that is the piece of advice I would give. So the top mistakes direct sellers do, number 2, happens to be mismanagement of their money. That is called not clear about their financial transactions. So my dear Vivites, videos, as independent business owners, let us set a disciplined way of earning money and keeping that in a particular account, tracking that, recording the expenses and everything, so that as a star 1000, if you start doing that, practicing that, you will go a long way as the diamonds of future. So with that, I think we have come to the end of the session today in the series of the top mistakes direct sellers do. Number 2, we have covered today. In the coming weeks, I have more interesting, the points with regard to the top mistakes direct sellers are doing. Hope you have enjoyed today. If you really loved today's session, give me a thumbs up.